We are back here in Westport talking to a homeowner in watercolor, and that's really the privilege and opportunity that we have in this podcast, is to get to know our homeowners in a unique way. And our purpose of the podcast is to build community. So thanks for joining us again. If you're the first time listener, you're going to meet Leigh Verge. She has lived here in watercolor with her husband for a year now and is part of actually our watercolor host team. So if you come to the model home, you'll meet her in person. And Stephen Rolston, again, founder and visionary behind Landark Homes, is joining me. And Stephen, I know that there's a special connection here, and I'd love for you to share how Leigh has, how you've got to know her and how she came to watercolor from your perspective.
Yes, well, my wife Diana grew up in Mississauga, and I grew up in Mississauga, Oakville, Scarborough, moved back to that end of the city. And when we got to know one another, I have, I think, the world's most amazing in-laws, my mother-in-law Wendy and Jerry Van Vliet. And so Wendy, once upon a time, worked with Leigh at a company called Quadra Chemicals in Mississauga.
Okay.
So that's how our relationship sort of predates me getting to know Leigh and Bruce, because of the fact that my mother-in-law Wendy actually worked with Leigh once upon a time.
Oh, isn't that interesting? I know your mother-in-law is a tremendous hiker. I did not know about her careers before.
Yes.
That's really interesting. Well, welcome, Leigh, and thank you for sitting down with us today. It's just one of those privileges that we have, is just have conversations about people who've come to watercolor and to hear more of your story, you know. So, yeah, where did you live before you moved here?
So I grew up in Mississauga as well.
Oh.
And our children were raised there and grew up there.
Okay.
And so yes, I worked at Quadra actually my 30 years of almost my whole career, working career.
Okay.
And that's where I first met Wendy Van Vliet, your mother-in-law, Steve. She was a wonderful person. I still respect her very much, and she amazes me. She's wonderful. She's such a positive person, and still in her 80s, hiking and golfing and going on trips around the world. She's amazing.
That's really neat.
Yeah.
What was your role at that company for all those years?
I started out when my 40-year-old son was 2 as just getting a job answering the telephone.
Okay.
And the last half of my career, I was a senior account manager, selling food ingredients to food companies all over Canada and the US.
Oh, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Did that role require you to travel much, or were you based out of Mississauga?
It did, yeah. Towards the end, I was traveling quite a bit.
Okay.
It was fun. I loved it. Yeah, it was a great career.
Sounds really interesting.
Yeah.
Did you have training in that area prior to, like in an educational way, or you just landed in the right place and applied all of your skills?
Actually did a lot of my training while I was working at Quadra.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really neat.
Yeah, it was great.
In a long time living in Mississauga, you would have seen a lot of change and development too. So when you first moved there versus when you left, tell us a little bit about your living experience there.
It was great. It was a great place to raise our children, and it was close to work for both Bruce and I, and had all the amenities that we needed. Once our kids were finished high school, our sons were finished high school, we moved to Burlington for 10 years.
Okay.
My folks lived there, and my office was there, even though I worked at home most of the time. I just got to know Burlington, and it was a little more of a small town feel than Mississauga, and we did like it very much.
Yes.
But then when the time came that we decided to hang up our working in the city hats, we moved out of town for a few years as well, up to Lake Huron.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
which was very nice. And we had a little bit of property and an old house that needed quite a bit of work, and I think that's when we came down here to visit watercolor upon Wendy's recommendation. We thought, wow, this is beautiful.
Right.
It was beautiful where we were, but we weren't in a town that we could walk to all the amenities. And we had never bought a new home before, and when we first looked at the homes, they were stunning, and everything about Westport just appealed to us.
Oh, isn't that neat?
Yeah, so it was a little scary, but not really. We were like excited about making the move, even though it was 7 hours away.
Right. Yeah.
And we've never looked back, to be honest. We love it here. We feel like after a year, we're part of this wonderful community.
Isn't that neat?
Yeah.
Stephen, you looked like you had a question there, and I jumped in too quick.
Oh, I was just going to say, before we leave, the story of where you worked and contributed so much. I don't know if I ever told you, Peter, you're one of the founders or one of the owners. I can't remember Peter's last name.
Peter Jobling.
Peter Jobling. I would hear his name when I would be at Wendy and Jerry's when I was dating Diana, and it sounded like a great place to work. And strangely enough, Peter was in the village, I think a year or two ago. And it was so interesting that I was just crossing the street and, you know, somebody looked dazed and confused and lost or something, like maybe it had been their first time. And I'm just walking across the street, said, "Oh, can I help?" And somehow we put two and two together because of his experience, and he knew Wendy's son-in-law had started building homes here. So
Right.
Isn't that
so
amazing? All the worlds colliding as you're trying to
Yeah.
help someone cross the street.
yes, and just that's what you do in a small village. I just think have so many times I've been helped, or that people, now I'm the one helping now that I know a little bit more about the village. And it's so interesting that there's just time in a small town for people to connect.
Right.
And there isn't time like that in even Stittsville, where I currently still live. And, you know, it's just frenetic busyness, especially in Mississauga. I've been back to stay at Wendy and Jerry's and do the marathon with my wife Diana, who did the half marathon, and I did the 5K. And speaking of which, Bruce is quite the runner, isn't he? Your husband.
He does like to run. Yeah, he does. Yeah,
nice.
he's run quite a few races, but he didn't start till late in life. He was probably in his late 40s. And yeah, he's run quite a few marathons and half marathons, and something he's pretty passionate about.
Yeah. Are there some events in the area, within the greater Westport area, as we call it, that he's participated in, or
he
Kingston?
hasn't had a chance to run a race here yet, but he is hoping to.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, it's taken us on some really interesting places in the US and in Europe on races, and
Interesting.
with other people in the running groups, and we've had some really fun running trips.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah.
And what do
So-
you like to do outdoors or for activity? I know you're a very fit woman, so what kinds of fitness and pursuits are part of your sort of journey?
Yeah. Well, one thing that we love to do as a couple is we love hiking, and we've gone on some nice hiking vacations, and we feel like we've really gotten to know Foley Mountain Conservation Area very well, and it's a great, great, great place that we can just walk to from here without even taking our car out of the garage, and that's all 4 seasons as well.
That's beautiful.
So
Yeah.
we love that. And
Some people find going hiking for the first time maybe a bit daunting. Like, we talk about these hikes.
Okay.
So when you get to Foley, what are some of the inside sort of trips, routes and things that you would start with if you were a beginner, if you're just going to go for the first time?
well, there's lots of smaller trails, and
Okay.
you don't have to take on the whole thing the first or second time you go, right? But
Okay.
yeah.
Is it
it's
well laid out? Are there?
Very well laid out.
Okay.
Yeah, very well laid out.
Okay.
And then there's part of the Rideau, as you know, too, Stephen, that's, you can just jump on there, and we've gone from Foley down to Sand Lake, and we hope to do a lot more of that as well.
Nice.
And so that's one thing we both like doing. I like golfing. I'm not great at it, but I've found some nice ladies here in the community that kind of feel the same way. That's more about the fun and the social aspect.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's just a nice way to get out and get some exercise. And
Where do you
yeah.
like to play?
There's 2 great golf courses close by, Rideau Lakes and also Evergreen, and they're both awesome. Yeah.
Nice.
And
I think when we were chatting with Luann when she was here, and she had played golf that morning in one of our other episodes, for you that are watching.
Yes, that's right.
There seems to be some common interest in golf, which is great, and it's not far from home.
No, it's great. And the other things, I'm involved in yoga, and sometimes I go alone, sometimes Bruce comes as well, because he feels that helps his body with the running. So that's something we're both passionate about.
Is that within the village that there's a yoga practice somewhere?
Yeah, there's a couple of different instructors now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
that's nice.
it is. It's awesome that we have that here. And I've recently joined the ladies' fitness classes.
Wow.
So I'm happy about that. And one of the criteria for moving anywhere, wherever we were going to land, was live music. And we already had heard from our neighbours in Kincardine, who used to come to Westport regularly to listen to music at the Cove. And we particularly like blues music. And Seamus at the Cove has a wonderful blues program that runs from October right through till May. And the caliber of talent is amazing.
Really?
And so we try to get to as many of those shows as possible.
Nice.
And yeah, some of them are Grammy Award winners and Juno Award winners, like fantastic. And then also just there's music there 7 nights a week of all different genres. So it's
we recently
amazing.
sat down with Seamus, and he was giving us some insights into that. And it's really amazing to me to hear from you that was a criteria of moving, because we learn so much from these conversations about some of the things that can inspire people to find home in watercolor. Some people are looking for a knitting club. Some people say, I need to play pickleball and it has to be inside, or I want to have, a waterfront that I can walk to with my kayak. So that's a really beautiful element. Did you play an instrument, or is your interest in music rooted in just the enjoyment of it?
Yeah, that's it. The enjoyment of it. And I keep saying I'm going to learn how to play the guitar. My grandson's trying to teach me, but he doesn't have too much time. he's in grade 12 now, so he's busy. But we just love it. And so we go to a lot of concerts as well. But it's so nice not to even have to leave the village. And Seamus has such great connections in the music industry. So, and they're such nice people who own the Cove. But there's other things to do that we, with some friends that we've met here, we spent last Thursday night at the trivia at the brewery, which was so much fun. And we got to meet new people, and it's not just people our age, a lot of young people that come out. So there's so many things to do if you want to get out there and do them. Yeah.
Some of the pieces that you've talked about today in terms of walking and community overlap with a concept that Stephen talks about regularly, which is the blue zones and longevity. I wonder, for yourself, if you can kind of think about how you're wanting to age in place in this community. Do you see that intersection too, that you think that there's a greater wellness for you here?
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. I just love being able to walk out the door in the morning and walk down into the village and look at the water, or walk to Sand Lake, and it's just so beautiful and calming, and I don't know, it's right in our back door. And with all the trails that you're planning on adding to the property here at Watercolour, Stephen, it's going to be so nice.
Have you been up to the Hilltop Park yet?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
We're so lucky to have that, and
I want to walk up there myself.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I was driven up one day before the chairs went in and the rock borders, and I kind of had a bit of a rough idea, but I think you have to walk it to really appreciate it. And what's really lovely too is that for anybody who comes to the village, it's not a gated experience. This is something that's available to anybody who wants to just come and experience nature and see the beautiful views from up there. Yeah, I know.
And we see lots of people taking advantage of that and walking in from all over, and it's wonderful.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's really neat.
I love to see people out exercising and riding their bikes and walking. And
Mm-hmm.
Has your home become a hub for your family in terms of a destination home? I know many people say that that's been really neat for them to experience, you know, their family coming to their home and cottage in one here in the village.
yeah, it has. Yeah, especially for the grandchildren. But
Okay.
yeah, it has.
Yeah. They've
Yeah,
found
and-
their way to the ice cream shop a few times?
Oh yeah, yeah. And just we had the three grandsons down for a weekend last winter, and we took them skating on Westport Pond.
Oh.
And they loved it. It was so cold, and I thought, well, I don't think we'll be here long. They didn't want to leave. It's beautiful.
Oh,
and
isn't
it's
that
just
nice
right
to hear?
there, and somebody in the community keeps it cleared off, and
Oh.
it's lovely.
Isn't that amazing? Yeah. I know you've raised your three boys to be very outdoor loving young people. What are some of the opportunities that you think are in the area for grandparents to come and bring their kids to experience?
Well, across the street from you, Leigh, I think is where George and Petra live. And George and Petra all summer long have been raving about Norris Bait and Tackle, and the fact that they don't have to own a boat and maintain a boat and look after a boat. They just go down to the harbor and across from the cove, where there used to be another home associated with the cove that unfortunately burned down. In the harbor, the family that own Norris Bait and Tackle have a pontoon boat. And so George and Petra are using it either for a morning or an afternoon or an evening, and you can rent it the whole day or by the 4 hours. And so to me, we have to interview the couple that own Norris Bait and Tackle, because some of the people who are giving up waterfront for watercolor, and there's about 15 of them now, or people like George and Petra who are coming from Niagara-on-the-Lake, they're just so delighted with all the water activities. And so yesterday also one of your neighbors, Darren Knight, and I can't wait to have Darren and Lucy on the show, maybe when they've been here a year, kind of like you, because they also have all the water toys. They owned a property on the water, and yesterday I saw him in a little hobby cat kayak that has a sail, and it has wheels built in, because he's forever, you know, carrying it back and forth from the harbor. And I thought, wow, I didn't know, like I've seen him on the stand-up paddle boards with his dog on top, and he brings the dog, and he and Darren and Lucy go on their stand-up paddle boards. But yesterday was the first time that I saw him in his fishing kayak, and I thought, wow,
very fun.
like there's so many hobbies that people are exploring, and like our boys were very outdoorsy, so
Yes, yeah.
they love to hunt and to fish, and there's so many opportunities for hunting and fishing. There's so much crown land. My son Christian told me about an app that now you can look up all the crown land that's in the area, that is government land, that's free and clear for hunting, and like 60 lakes we've now learned in a 15-mile radius.
Yes. So fishing expeditions can be the next thing for next summer's adventure if they come and stay for a summer weekend
there
instead
you
of a
go.
winter.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We have kayaks as well, and we did get them out at the end of the summer last year. It hasn't been in the cards this summer, but next summer we're going to get those kayaks out of the garage and get back on the water.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That is really nice.
Yeah.
How was that first winter? I mean, you've mentioned your grandkids came. People often say they're going to come to Westport and live through the winter, and my standard response is, what do you do anywhere when it's cold? You go inside, but you can spend time outside. You just need good gear.
Yeah.
What are some of the indoor pursuits that you've enjoyed in the winter?
Or outdoor, since this is an outdoorsy family.
Yeah, or outdoor, for sure.
Well, as I mentioned, like Foley Mountain, you can walk in the winter as well. Maybe not on every single trail, but you can even walk through the whole park in the winter as well. And well, as I mentioned, we go to the trivia nights. We go to music.
Nice. Yeah.
I don't know. We seem to fill our days here.
Yes.
And yeah.
Have you joined any of the community groups for yourself?
I do some volunteering in town, and
Nice.
I started that up early, quite early on, and I thought, what a great way to meet people outside of watercolor, and I have, and it's great. So there's so many volunteer opportunities and
Yes.
and lots to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are a lot of programs at the Westport Library. Have any of those intersected?
Yeah, not yet.
Not
No,
yet. Yeah,
no.
there's so
There's
many
a
things.
list of things that
I'm sure.
people are saying, have you done this? And have you done, and nope, not yet.
Have you got a favorite spot to dine besides the Cove?
We like, everywhere in town is great, to be honest. We
Oh,
loved,
good.
and we love the setting at the winery. It's hard not to. I say that to Allison, it's magical here. It is, sitting out on a nice sunny day and looking at the water and having a glass of wine and some pizza.
Oh,
What's not to like?
sounds dreamy.
Yeah, in the casual atmosphere.
Yeah. What's your experience like in terms of living in a net zero home? I imagine a home that you left in your rural property there, where you said you're on the lake, was not likely built to new code standards. But that's normal. I mean, we're doing something very different here. So maybe you can talk a little bit about that. Tell us what you think.
Sure. Yeah, our house was very drafty. And when we moved there, we were on propane and septic. And then they brought natural gas to the town of Kincardine, and an outreach to our place. So we thought, okay, we'll convert to natural gas. And it was a little bit better, but still drafty, and there was always renovations. And so we were kind of excited to come here and see what it was like living in a new home, and especially an energy efficient home. And we couldn't believe the difference and the cost, the money that we saved on electric versus natural gas. Yeah, very cozy, very comfortable, nice clean air. Perfect.
Oh,
yeah,
that's so good to hear.
Yeah.
And maintaining it hasn't been any different. Like in terms, people think that it's going to be complicated. I think when they hear something that is geared for the future, they think, oh, I need to learn a whole bunch of new things to be able to live there.
A little bit, but there's been lots of support from, the team and that, in terms of answering any questions that we have, and it's been great. It's been fine.
Oh,
and we're not really technical gurus or anything, but
none
it's
of us.
works. And
yeah,
I think we've got it figured out.
Nice.
Yeah.
And did you pick a floor plan that was a downsize for you, or a right size, as we'd like to say?
I'd say a little bit, but for sure a lot better use of space than what we were in.
Okay.
Yeah. And I love the open concept and all of us being together in one room. I like that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Sometimes people feel that's a little daunting, to have to right size or find a home that fits that is in a different footprint, and it's open concept versus all the small closed rooms. And I know Landark works really hard to make the space really inviting with all the natural light. I mean, right today we're surrounded by windows on all sides.
Oh, yeah.
And smart use of storage and all of those things. Did you choose to finish a lower level, or I don't know much about your home, so maybe you can share a little bit about the type of home you chose.
Sure. We did choose to finish the lower level and add a bedroom because we do have one of our sons who lives out of town, so it's not a day trip. So we need we have 6 grandchildren all together. So this summer we actually had all 6 of them stay at our place at one time.
Nice.
Over the summer.
Fun is that?
And it was amazing.
Sleeping bags all on the floor?
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, so it's not often that we need the extra space, but it's there when we do. And yeah, it's perfect.
Oh, that's really
Yeah.
neat.
Yeah, we're really happy, and some days we still wake up and say, wow, we can't believe we're here. But yeah.
Oh, that's really neat. Did you take multiple visits? Like, did it take a lot of time coming back and forth to the site to make the choice? Because some people, it's taking them, 1 or 2 years even to make the transition from a home to coming to watercolor.
No, actually, we came the first time and we met you the first time, Stephen, and we were blown away on our first visit. But we thought, well, we can't just do this. We need to think about it.
Nobody impulse buys a house, do they?
Because it was just...
Maybe they do.
It was just to come and check it out. It wasn't, we're not doing anything. We're just coming to check it out.
Right.
And when we left, we had like, oh, we've got something to think about here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then we came back the second time and we put down our deposit and picked our lot.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so you went through that process then of picking a lot, picking a home, and then customizing or personalizing it to what you wanted, and then making the move.
Yeah.
How was that journey? Because oftentimes we sell, move-in ready homes too. So I would love to hear that, because we've never heard a homeowner talk to us about how they felt about that whole process.
I think I even remember saying to Stephen, like, oh my gosh, it was a bit daunting thinking about how we'd never bought a new home. How do we know what to pick and what to choose? And there's just too many options. And you had said, don't worry, it's like a funnel process. And you said, once we get going, we'll help you every step of the way. And Kim, the designer, will help you choose based on what your likes and dislikes are. And you were right. It was not that hard. And it worked out perfectly.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that.
Yeah.
And how long was it from the time that you made that decision to pick your lot to the day that you got the keys? Do you remember? Because every home is different, but I'm curious to know.
Probably about a year.
About a year?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that worked
because we
for you.
we didn't want to put our house for sale up in the winter, so we waited till the spring. And and everyone at Watercolour was very accommodating to us, and everything worked out perfectly. And just to mention, we had heard horror stories from people who had bought new homes, and I thought, why are people telling us all these negative things? And none of the things that we were told happened. Quite the opposite. Wow. Yeah, it's been a phenomenal experience.
And that really makes me sad because, so many home builders, for whatever reason, are giving people unrealistic expectations and unrealistic experiences. And having lived in our first 5 communities, we just only wanted to give people what we would want, and realistic expectation and a realistic buyer's journey. And so, I'm so saddened when other people sow fear, because that's been their experience and there's no denying it.
Right.
And it's very sad, but we just have delivered over 400 homes, I think, now, and this is our 10th community, and I don't think we've really ever had to delay a closing. Even when the registration process was delayed, we just let people move in, and because even at closing, people are so stressed out because of all the pressure, and I know my family went through that 7 times as a kid. My wife and I, we moved 7 times as a kid, and you've got enough going on in life. We're not going to be part of that process. We have such amazing designers that have helped ease that process of decision making, and we just want to give the way we want to be treated. And so usually the houses are ready maybe a month early, and then people can close a month early if they sell their house and need a quicker home, or we build all these move-in ready homes so that in 30 or 15 days or 60 days people could just sell their home and start experiencing a different quality of life. And that's why a friend has started encouraging us to call it the Watercolour quality of life, really, because surrounded by water and surrounded by very nice people who want to know and get to know others and love others. It's not rocket science what we're doing, I don't think.
Building community.
But connecting people and building community, that's why we're here.
Yeah. It's beautiful. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Leigh. I really appreciate you sharing your story, and I know that that every person who comes and sits and talks with us is a unique individual who has their own experiences, and we really value and treasure that. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thanks for joining us today on Watercolour Westport Stories podcast. You can like, follow, and share on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We're on every platform, YouTube, and I hope that you've heard something today that will inspire you to come visit us and experience Westport for yourself.